Welcome back to SL Chennai Speaks Out. What do union budgets have for common people, for the middle class? Medical exemption, 15,000 rupees per annum. Again, static for many years. We all know the rising cost of healthcare. 2 CT scans and that's over. How do you justify this? What is there for the middle class?
I know what Dr. Jairam is going to say.
No, let him say. Don't
no problem.
No.
Cut your finger, no problem.
Have we kept up with the times? 15,000 rupees per annum for medical bills.
Do you think over the years, quality of healthcare has improved? Now, don't talk about the prices. Has quality improved? Definitely yes. 20 years back, I would think people would say it would be a fashionable statement to have a heart surgery done in US, but we are not talking about that today.
While quality has improved, cost
exactly.
has also gone up.
Cost has gone up commensurate with quality.
Is it affordable?
Yeah,
is it affordable today?
Now the point is, I don't think for a common man, the one that this gentleman right now said, maybe such medical facilities are slightly out of
Let's talk about
way.
middle class.
Yeah.
You spoke about 15,000-20,000 rupees per month.
I think perfectly yes. People are not aware of many good schemes available from government as well as from insurance sectors. They just want to be blind about many of those good schemes and run a huge bill.
Anita, insurance, talking of insurance, today you take Mediclaim, it's so expensive even for senior citizens who actually need it. There are senior citizens here in the audience who actually need it. There are a whole lot of exclusions. The fine print there, the devil is there in the detail.
I'm with you, Sanjay.
And there are exclusions for the whole year. If somebody's got hypertension, diabetes, in Chennai is the diabetes capital of the country, and then somebody who's got diabetes is excluded. So I mean,
there is something to be done, definitely. We like to take things as we see them.
We have to spend nearly 10 lakhs to 12 lakhs rupees in the last 10 days that we live in the hospital. The only thing the doctor said was, the hospital is kind enough to return the body to the owners.
That's a sad reality, right, Venkatesh?
Yes, but the problem here is, it's not only the cost. What I'm trying to talk about even is the quality. What Professor says, yes, the quality has definitely gone up, and I'm with him on that point. But to whom has the quality gone up? Whether it has gone up for quote-unquote common man or whether it has gone to the elite. Now look at it, what is happening is, by and large, you have got excellent schemes in the budget, both the state and the center, on what we call as the health insurance and the health schemes. But that's for the Aam Janta. Whereas the government officers themselves, whether they are in the IAS cadre, IPS cadre, or whatever cadre,
Ministers, they go abroad.
They go abroad, or they go to private hospitals.
When they go, okay. When they go to government hospitals, people, traffic is held up and people die on the way waiting.
Also. Most importantly, what I want to do is, if the 6th pay commission had brought in, see, this is where I think budgets have to think out of the box. They have to say, yes, we have paid you enough. 6th pay commission almost brought the salaries of government officers on par with private sector. Now, if this is done, don't go to private sector. Look at the health secretary's son undergoing a hospital surgery, God forbid, in the Chennai General Hospital. Look at the transformation that will happen in Chennai General Hospital. You spend 10 lakh crores on the General Hospital, you are not going to get it improved. One surgery of one family member inside that hospital will change the character. Ditto for your school. Why don't corporation school improve? That's simply because you and I don't send our children to the corporation school.
How would the budget achieve what you're saying?
Just a policy statement. Just a policy statement. Budget is not arithmetic, sir. You only said that, and I'm only sticking on to your point.
No. I said implementation should be.
No. It is a policy statement. It is a policy intent of the government. Government doesn't do any major policy exercises. Why are we so agitated?
If you talk about intent, why do you read out the lamba chada thing about roads and highways and other intent?
Exactly, intent only. I am on the intent only. I'm only he said that roads are good. I said only even in awarding contracts, we have just done only 15%. And again on this, health and education, if we can transform this by a policy statement, bring the people who are giving us the service to consume their own bitter medicine, things will improve in a jiffy.
Shouldn't the budget, I want to ask the audience, shouldn't the budget actually address issues of healthcare? Show of hands. Yes. Show of hands.
No, and
is it addressing? Is it addressing?
Okay.
Show of hands, how many believe it's not addressing?
Not adequately.
It's not adequate.
You
will also put your hand up.
The issue is,
Yes, certainly.
Okay.
Totally.
Yes, sir.
We are winning hands down here. And you're all putting hands up.
It is not right to say that the budget doesn't make any policy statements. The new economic reforms, liberalization, privatization, and all that, they were not passed as a part of the bills in the parliament. They all came in the form of budget statements.
Exactly.
And another thing, you are talking about the increase in money for the salaried people during the 5th pay commission and all that. It was the arrears that were paid to the salaried people during the last year that helped the economy recover.
Yes, the spendings have come out of that.
we are talking about cure for Vijay, for instance, talked about Chennai, that being the diabetic capital. But how about prevention? I don't think we are addressing this point at all, whether through budget or even otherwise. I think that is one thing that has to be really addressed.
What is my point of view?
The way you're addressing it is actually even now service tax now applicable to hospitals also, right?
Hospitals, everything. The
service
issue,
tax
the issue
applicable
is
to hospitals. So
Sanjay,
healthcare will further, the cost will go up.
Sanjay, the issue is that the healthcare worldwide, we have seen a phenomenon of rising healthcare costs, right? There are economies like the British economy and the Canadian economy where you have the National Health Service, where health is subsidized by the government 100%, but you have to actually wait for 3 months even to get an appointment to see a doctor. So you have arguments for and against. With I think I take great pride that the diagnostic capability in India is fantastic and phenomenal, right? But I think India has chosen the middle path. They say that I want to have the government sponsored hospitals. I also want to encourage the private sector. These are all good measures, and I would really applaud the government for all these measures. But fundamentally, it is about the rising costs. I'm not shifting stance, but I'm trying to make a point.
We'll have an anti-defection law on this.
I'm not. You can guarantee I'm not getting to the other side. The issue is the rising cost of healthcare, right? So what is it that we need to do? And the budget, somebody said here that there's been no law, there's been no budgetary statements made in the budget that how will the healthcare be, the cost per healthcare, cost of healthcare is actually going to be lowered. There's been no discussion about it. 15,000, you might as well not even have it. It's been there for the last 10 years, 15 years, I don't know how many years, but
about 15 years, right?
It's almost there.
When Mr. Mr. Pranab Mukherjee was the finance minister in 83.
84. Not all of us have equal access to healthcare. I think that's a matter of fact. There's no debate on that.
Yes.
We are addressing only health. When you say healthcare, we are talking about health breakdown. But I'm talking about prevention. I don't think we are addressing this at all.
But can the budget do that?
Why not?
No, why not?
Why not? Because
there can be deductions provided.
Yeah.
Some benefits provided for preventing. I think there's been a classic case yesterday I heard.
Even over Vijay.
Yeah.
Even alternatives.
Sir,
encouragement to alternatives like acupressure. There are a lot of things. The EFT. So many things are developing. We are not addressing those things at all. As a country, we should be more responsible.
And talking about Mediclaim and others, I think they're all for in-house hospitalization. You can't just walk into it and get a covered. So you have challenges there.
See, I would look at it this way. The common man would like to hope that, God forbid something happens, he has the money to take care of his family. The Mediclaim provision or the 15,000 helps him at least get an avenue to insure his family, which would not have been possible had this scheme not been there.
No, nobody is denying that the existence of the scheme is bad. We're not talking about it.
15,000 is not the limit. It's only a limit under the Income Tax Act to get a
Yeah,
deduction.
at least,
can do it even.
I know, but at least there's now a pressure for him saying that, look, I want to reduce my tax liability. At least he's thinking along these terms. Had they not given that, he would have done something else.
No, fair enough. That's an incentive.
The point I want to also make here is most common people, citizens of India, are not yet very tuned towards insurance policies, Mediclaims and all those things. And that's an awareness issue. Now, the point is both pension plan as well as Mediclaim policies have only picked up in the last about 5-6 years.
The government did a very nice thing of giving subsidies for setting up 2-star hotels across the country, right? Can they not have extended this for creating hospitals, right? They could have done that.
Absolutely.
If they had done that, perhaps there would have been an impact on the cost of healthcare. That's a
over the years, education costs have gone up, but has the exemption on education loans hasn't gone up.
Tamil Nadu, they say, in fact, is the highest when it comes to disbursal of education loans. But how many of you in the audience, show of hands, believe that fees in colleges have gone through the roof? Show of hands. Only the professor is not putting his hand up.
By the way, you can even see that as a
how many of you
campaign.
believe that the education loans, the terms and conditions, the interest rates definitely need an overhaul? How many of you believe that? How many of you believe the budget should have actually taken note of this? All right.
By the way, guys,
Professor,
yes,
Sanjay.
I think
let
want to make one point.
the
I just
professor
want to make
answer.
one point.
Education, let the professor.
I just want to make one point. He'll take a long time. By the way, if you have to actually go in for a brilliant tutorials or go for any of those training schemes before you pass through one of those engineering colleges, you're going to be covered by service tax. So even getting trained to even go for an examination, you're going to be paying far more. So
When we say right to education is a
now what are we
fundamental
talking
right.
about here? We're kidding ourselves. Sir, over to you.
You have a right to education. Nobody said it has to be free.
Fundamental right.
Professor, would you like
That's
to?
why she never gets taxed as a lawyer. They say that right to go and present yourself in the court.
Constitutional remedies, okay.
That is why lawyers, all those constitution things will come for us. taxes.
Yeah,
That's why
Professor,
we are on
the,
the side
let
of
the
the
Professor answer
government.
that, yes.
Yeah.
That's why we're on the side of the government.
One second, let the Professor answer.
I think the fundamental issue on education, when we look at it from the larger perspective of 30, 40 years of Indian this thing, I have already stated that primary and perhaps middle school education, we have not done enough, and that's a fact. But when it comes to senior education, graduate education, and postgraduate education,
The ones for which you require loans, sir.
Yes, yes, exactly. In that, I think even today, the fact is that the government colleges which charges pittance are the best in India. Take, for example, IITs, take, for example, IIMs, take FMS from where I graduated.
Not the pittance.
All these things, yes, of course, they're all very, very reasonable when it comes to education. From the standpoint of, let me answer that question. Let me answer that question. The affordability from the standpoint of your two ways. It is not how much you want to pay for that. What is the real cost of giving that education today?
Can you avail that education without taking a loan? You can't.
No, you can't. But the point is the loans are so liberal, first of all.
Are they liberal?
Secret? Of course, yes.
So they are. Reality check, sir. Reality check.
I think your dad as guarantors, right?
I
That's
think
not
yes,
the case
that's
where
right.
it is in the
That's
US.
Right. The point I'm trying to say is today the government policy and the bank's policy is that if you go for an education loan, it cannot be denied under any circumstances. Do you know this? How many of you know this?
But how many of you agree
know?
with that?
Let me ask this question. How many of you know that today if you walk into a public sector bank or a private sector bank, you cannot be denied an education loan? How many of you are aware
banks
of
which
that?
have refused it, sir. It's gone to court. There are banks which have refused it, citing marks, citing poor marks.
The point I'm trying to say is this, that on both the availers as well as the bank, the people who are running the show there, both of them are ignorant about this fact. If you knew that this is your right, you will demand it.
I get a loan is okay, but then what if I have to pay 12-13% on it?
Are you a B school student?
Yes.
Yes. How much are you paying for your education?
It's 6 lakhs now.
How much is your first year income?
Close to 7.
Exactly. So in 1 year payback, if it is not don't consider it as an investment, what will you do? What rate is acceptable?
I don't think that is how you look at it.
My question is, what rate is acceptable? 60,000?
No, the thing is when you can give agricultural loan at say 5-6%, why not have an education loan at 7-8%?
Oh, I agree.
When this is also a priority sector.
I'm not today talking about whether the loan rates are conducive or not. It is easily available. Today, you are sitting and having an MBA education is
a boy behind you, yes.
Actually, I accept that no one can deny a loan to a student if he walks into a public bank. But the thing is, even one of my classmates, one of my very close friend, walked into a bank for 6 or 7 months for getting a loan. Just a single loan sanctioned.
I agree,
for just
my
a single check
young
sanctioned.
Man, I agree
he's working
perfectly.
for 7 months.
Ask your friend to take professor.
No, better. Take a lawyer.
Time for another short break on SL Chennai Speaks Out. When we come back, we'll talk about savings, we'll talk about senior citizens as well.